Joining me now is California Congressman Ted Lieu. He is a member of the Judiciary and Foreign Affairs Committees, and always welcome on the broadcast. Good to see you, Congressman. So what do you expect to come out of the president's phone call with Vladimir Putin? Will Trump pressure him to come to the negotiating table and agree to a ceasefire? Is that what you expect?
I certainly hope so. Ukraine has already agreed to do a ceasefire. I urge Russia to do the same. My view is that Putin will only seriously negotiate if his troops are defeated on the battlefield. And so I urge the administration, I did this with the Biden administration as well, I urge the administration to provide the weapons that Ukraine needs to defeat Russia on the battlefield. That's how you get Putin to the negotiating table.
Let me just ask you also with regard to Vladimir, who said that he didn't want to have any kind of serious negotiations without him present as well. But do you believe it is a better first step for Trump and Putin to talk together before potentially, if ever, bringing in Volodymyr Zelensky?
I think it's fine if President Trump wants to talk to two leaders separately. But again, I don't think Putin is going to do anything seriously until he is stopped on the battlefield in Ukraine. And the way to do that is for the U.S. and Europe to give Ukraine the support and weapons it needs to defeat the Russian troops on the battlefield.
Okay, let's get to the plane. You know what I'm talking about, because the president says he's not personally profiting from the Qatari plane deal, that America is the one that's gaining. Critics are arguing Trump accepting this lavish gift is an example of corruption and a breach of national security protocols. What is your take? And the Constitution, by the way, requires Congress to approve any gift given to an elected official, from a foreign government. So will Congress ban this transaction?
My view is that no American president should be flying around on a foreign 15-year-old used Qatari jet that, by the way, the country Qatar had been trying to sell off for many years. In addition, reports are to upgrade this jet to become Air Force One with the advanced communications necessary to have command and control for nuclear weapons. It's going to take about $1 billion. So I'm not sure there's even really a cost savings with this. And you're right. Under the Constitution, Congress has to accept and approve a gift this massive. I urge the Republican leadership that if the president wants to accept this gift, that Congress takes a vote on it, because that's what the Constitution requires.
Well, it might not pass if they did, because there are a lot of Republicans who are vehemently opposed to the acceptance of the Qatari plane. Let me ask you about...
I want to know, one of the main reasons Republicans are opposed, and I also agree, is when you have a 15-year-old plane that is in a foreign country, what might that foreign intelligence services or other services do to that plane and put in eavesdropping equipment or surveillance equipment? So it's going to take a lot of time and resources just to look at the entire plane and make sure there's nothing in there that could surveil the American president.
No, you're right. You said $1 billion at a cost, and I believe it's been suspected or expected maybe 2 years to fix it. And by the way, Boeing is already working on putting together 2 747 planes, American-made company Boeing. And that's going to be ready, I think, in 27, I believe. Anyway, let me move to your position, sir, on the Foreign Relations Committee. How critical was Donald Trump's Middle East trip, and how much did he tangibly accomplish?
The Middle East is a critical part of the region. There's a lot of conflict there. I am glad for any American president to travel to the Middle East. I'm glad President Trump traveled to the Middle East. I note that a number of the deals that the president announced predated his presidency. They were done under the Biden presidency. So I think it's good that both administrations focus on the Middle East, and we got some of the deals accomplished.
Let's look at what back to the board means for House Republicans, because after a handful of hardliners in committee Friday blocked President Trump's one big, beautiful mega bill from reaching the House floor, they were demanding even steeper spending cuts, apparently. And as it stands now, nearly $4 trillion in tax cuts weighted towards the top income earners exist, more than $800 billion in cuts to Medicaid. What are your thoughts on the GOP's priorities? I mean, how will Republican proposed cuts to Medicaid and other programs impact Americans?
House Republicans are right that this is a big, beautiful bill if you're in the top 1%, but everybody else loses. And so the nonpartisan estimates show that this is the largest cut to health care in U.S. history, approximately $1 trillion. Over 13.7 million Americans will be stripped of their health care. And they're doing all this to give benefits to the top 1%. And a tax analysis, again, by a nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office shows that not only will the top 1% get most of the benefits, but folks who are in the lower rungs of the tax bracket start to have their taxes actually rise.
Quickly, can I ask what you expect to come out of that committee when they reconvene 10 p.m. tomorrow night to do a revote? What are the expectations?
Right. So what makes this even crazier is the reason that it was stopped in the House Budget Committee is because the hardline Republicans thought there weren't enough cuts to health care and to other essential services. So they want to kick off even more people off of health care. So I have just a much more common sense solution. Just don't give these massive tax breaks to billionaires and millionaires. And you can solve the problem quite easily if we just did that.
Well, there you go. I suppose you'll tell that to your colleagues as well on the other side of the aisle. But Ted Lieu, thank you so much for speaking to us, as always.